call Halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachakwadash. That's what his word and he calls God and Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. Salakia. Just brother Anatham Yah coming with a quick hit. I want to get double honors to the elders and apostles across the four corners of the earth who rule and teach real, predominantly those ones at the home of truth, and we know that home of truth lies at the home of great millstone. Shalom to the sincere Akim, the hopeful elect, out here pushing this word in truth and sincerity in these last days, making their call and election sure. Big shout out to the elder men in Israel camp, Brother Kazak, whom I teach under, and shalom to the few Aqua that watch and believe in our testimony and believes in the name Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And also shalom to the Israelite foreigners, causing confusion, looking like the heathen coming back to their heritage in these last days too. Shalom to y'all as well. This is just a quick article right here, going into, how America's, I'm going to use what they said, America's retail landscape is basically is disintegrating, man. They're set for more stores to close this year. You have you have inflation going up and down. For the most part is going up. And then you have certain products that have become cheaper. This is all how can I put it? This is all a part of Esau's agenda to move forward and pushing the MOTB into a digital society, man, and dropping the dollar, man. Okay, it says multiple U.S. stores set to close in 2025 as retail apocalypse accelerates. Okay, so they're calling this a retail apocalypse. There's a lot more stores out here that are closing down and going out of business than the media is actually showing. Okay, and that just shows the state of Babylon right now, man. And this shows it it also shows it in the scriptures as well. It says the American retail landscape is undergoing a seismic shift with widespread store closures signaling a deepening crisis for brick and mortar retailers. Headlines proclaiming all U.S. stores closing as retailers face bloodbath and iconic department store among those set to go have circulated widely, capturing the dire situation faced by the industry. Drawn from reports by multiple news outlets, this article explores the scope of the closures, the economic forces at play, and the fate of an iconic department store caught in the turmoil. Because these some of these stores are essential to society. Okay, you have the CVS pharmacy. For certain people, most people in society, because they use what's it called? Esau's medicines. I don't really too much use Esau's medicine unless I feel like I need to. But for the most part, herbs, do my healing. But you see a CVS pharmacy right here. Multiple of those are closing down, and I don't find it far-fetched. There's one out here where I live that recently got I wouldn't say destroyed, but damaged by the storm we had back in 2024, November, tropical storm, and it shattered the glass, took out the door, and they ain't even fixed it yet, man. Here it is, almost a year from the storm. Shit. Salakia. Here it is, almost a year from the storm.
Video?
Yeah.
Alright.
Here it is, almost Salakia, that was one of the brothers. Damn, what was I at? Yeah, here it is, almost a year from the storm, and it ain't even fixed yet, man. That shows a lot too. That shows a lot too. They don't even care, man, because they know these stores are about to shut down, man. Okay, what is this gonna look like for the masses when they're not able to go and access certain things like like they used to. What is that going to look like, man? That's going to look chaotic. Okay, but the scriptures talk about the storehouses closing, becoming empty. It talks about the merchants of the earth not buying no more goods, from the whore, from Babylon. As a matter of fact, let me just get that. Revelations chapter 18, I think. Yeah, I think it's 18. Let me start at verse. I'm gonna start at 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven, saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins." So for all you that don't think that the dollar is gonna drop and this economy is gonna crash, and that this devil is gonna enforce this digital society, the scriptures play out a different. The scriptures play out a different ending than your thoughts, man. Okay, because the Lord said Babylon iniquities have reached the heavens, man. Okay, it says that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she had filled to her double. Okay, so all these things are happening. Why? Because this is a wicked kingdom under a wicked ruler, a wicked nation, which is so-called not so-called, it's a so-called white man, which is Esau Edom, according to the scriptures. Okay, it says how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, right? Because America's glorified itself as in what? In military, trying to say that they're the best. They have the best military, most mightiest military on planet Earth. They try to say anybody can come here and live here and do what you want. Live the American dream. Much of facade, much of bullshit. Because when you get here, you realize it's nothing but death and ongoing wickedness. The food is fucking destroyed. I seen a video of a girl making a video about the strawberries here, saying that why are they white in the middle? She's never seen a strawberry in her life that's been white in the middle. It's always been red, and she's over there in the UK. And that's just an example of how this devil has fucking ruined this whole place. Not even ruined this whole place. This place was built off of wickedness, man. But the man in the power seat, Esau Edom, has puffed up this place, man, to make it a delicacy to people. Okay, it says, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. Right, and then that's going to the pride that these devils boast off. In this day and age, it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. She shall utterly be burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication, him getting to the point, and live deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Okay, so the Lord's gonna destroy this place in 1 hour, right? Okay, and it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise no more. You see, multiple U.S. stores set to close in 2025 as retail apocalypse accelerates. And you're only going to get that the prophecy of this scripture through these things happening, okay? Through these type of things happening, man. All right? Look, it says it's going into let's see, Salakia. It's going right here. It says Macy's Macy's 167-year-old institution is set to close dozens of locations as part of a broader restructuring plan. Ain't gonna be no damn restructuring plan. See, look, it says they talking about downsizing. I'm just roughly paraphrasing. You're gonna downsize to nothing. To nothing, man. You know, all these stores are going out of business because ultimately this kingdom is going out of rulership. Okay? Edom's kingdom is going out of rulership. Alright? It says the merchants of gold and silver, precious stones, and of pearls, and of fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all dying wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, of brass, of iron, marble, you know. And these are things that we get by trade ships, man. You know, a lot of these things we get via trade ships that go into these stores and go into these shelves. It said in cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, horses, chariots, slaves, and souls of men. See, all these things, okay? All these things, all right? And it says, the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more in all. See? So the things that you would come in, your delicacies, you're not going to be able to access, man. You know? Your good dainty things, you're not going to be able to access anymore. So the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city that was clothed in linen, fine linen, and purple and scarlet, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, man. Like I said, it's come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city, man? Okay? And this is Babylon. And this is the future of Babylon right here. And this is what you see happening. It's not even the future. This was happening right now, okay? Okay? Just not too long ago, I went into a CVS to try to buy deodorant, man, and I couldn't. The whole what's it called? The whole deodorant aisle was clear, and I asked them what happened. They was like, we ain't got a truck in, you know. So start expecting to see more and more of these things, okay? And this is 2nd Ezra 6. It says I'm going to start at verse 20. It says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, this is this world, Esau, Edom's world, because the world to come, Esau is the end of this world, and the world to come is for Jacob's, man, for the nation of Israel, okay? It says, begin to vanish away shall be finished. Then will I show these tokens, the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, and the women which child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall be suddenly found empty. Okay? And that is what you see here. All right? That is what you see here. And also you got different retailers filing for bankrupt. Look, Forever 21 filed for bankrupt a second time. Okay? They're not making no money. Okay? Go back to the scripture. Suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Alright? And a full storehouse shall suddenly be found empty. Okay? This is what you see happening right now, man. Alright? Let me get one more scripture. Because in these times, it's gonna be when all these things are not able to be accessed. It's gonna be the time of Jacob's trouble. It's gonna be crazy out here, man. And people can't get their medicines for their sickly children that they gotta have, and they go to CVS probably every other month to go get prescriptions. They ain't gonna be having them, and they gotta they can't get these prescriptions unless they have the MOTB and submit to the regime of the society that's going to be in place at this time. All right. And this will all bring in what? Famine, confusion, great death. It says, woe is me, woe, 2 Ezra 16 and 17, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days. And that's right, because like I said, these families are not going to have the necessary things they need. Okay. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. I don't find it far-fetched for them mourning over things that they won't be able to access for their children due to them not wanting to take the MOTB. But those that'll take it, you'll be able to live in society accordingly to however the agenda is fit at the time. All right. It says great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay? So these things are sent for what? Correction, judgment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. You're not even going to have a spirit to even know the Lord is judging you. Some are not going to have this spirit to even know. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves be in good case. And even then evil shall grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay? And these are the times that we're heading in, man. Esau Edom has had his time on earth, man. And his time is up, man. He's enjoyed his riches. He's enjoyed his rulership. And he don't want it to go. Matter of fact, what's that? James chapter 5. Yeah, go to from the top. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Meaning that you should see them rust away before your eyes, man. And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. See? You have heaped treasure together for the last days, man. And these are the last days that we're in. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Okay? And that is what Esau Edom has done, man. Okay? And this is what he's doing now. He's purposely destroying the economy to push a further agenda of a regime that he seeks that'll get him the victory, but man, it'll only leave him confounded, man. Okay? But that was just a quick hit. This is Anathema. Until next time, Shalom.